Hello, broadcasters. Welcome to episode 166 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name's Geige, and I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. It's been a good week. I'm never a fan of daylight savings time, but other than that, it's been good. For anyone new here, Dan and I are the founders of StreamYard, and we do these town halls every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and we do them for a few reasons. One is to stay in tune with all of you, go through the same flow all of you do with your own shows and events and broadcasts. Two is to answer any of your questions. So if there's any topics you'd like us to touch on tonight, feel free to leave them in the chat. We'll do our best to get to all of them. We love discussing everything, live streaming and video with all of you. And I always mention the three pillars of StreamYard, which are ease of use, stability, and professional streams. So if you're about those three things, StreamYard is the tool for you. Some people hanging out from all over the world, which is really cool. I think I saw Portugal and the Philippines and the UK. Very, very cool. Before I forget, we have lots of awesome shows. And in fact, we've got some unique ones this week because the StreamYard team is at, I've got a banner for it, Social Media Marketing World. So if you're at Social Media Marketing World, definitely stop by our booth and say hi. The team would love to chat with you. But other than Social Media Marketing World, some of the other shows we have going on are StreamYard Spotlight, the second Thursday of every month at 8 p.m. Eastern. We have, which is a great show featuring folks from the community and highlighting how they're having success with StreamYard. So definitely tune in if you're looking for inspiration, or if you'd like to be featured yourself, feel free to shoot an email to contact@streamyard.com, and Dan will get you set up. We have YouTube channel reviews with Dee and Daniel the second Saturday of every month. We actually just had one yesterday that was awesome. So if you missed it, definitely catch the replay. But really great show if you're looking to specifically grow on YouTube, or they give live actionable feedback on individual channels for figuring out things like, what should my strategy be for like titles or thumbnails, or how often should I post? Everything you can imagine to help you grow a YouTube channel they cover, which is fantastic. We have Enhance Your Live Streaming the last Tuesday of every month with Nick Niman, definitely a live stream and video pro with a huge channel and following. So he has lots of awesome tips. You'll want to catch that for specific live streaming advice. And then we have live stream reviews the first and third Saturday at noon PST with Christian and Charles. It's fun where they hang out for a couple hours, just giving live feedback on live streams. And we've been doing fun facts every week, so we get to know a little bit more about you. You get to know a little bit more about us. And this week's was favorite karaoke song. You have a favorite karaoke song, Dan?
That's a fun question. Favorite karaoke song. So I don't know that I have a favorite because, like most people, I'm pretty bad at karaoke, but I do enjoy it once in a while at a bar or something. I think Sweet Caroline has always been my favorite karaoke song. How about you?
Sweet Caroline is definitely a good one. I think I'm actually particularly bad at karaoke. So I think my favorite karaoke song is probably Lean on Me by Bill Withers, because I think it's probably one of the few that I could even make an attempt. It would still be very bad, but I think I would actually know the words well enough to make an attempt. And I do really like the song.
At least most people are equally bad at karaoke, so
I don't know. I'm pretty rough, but yeah.
Fair.
All right. Let's see. We got some questions here. Sato Suzuki says, feature requests allow guests to share multiple cameras, 2, upload own background music, 3, logo position defined by users, and 4, PowerPoint slides with animations. Make that possible. Appreciate the requests, Sato. These are definitely, some of these are top ones. Uploading background music is being worked on and will definitely come. Sharing animations with PowerPoint slides is something we'd love to add. It's we're limited in different ways, but we're constantly iterating and exploring it. So at some point, hopefully, we can enable that functionality. We'd certainly like to. For the logo position stuff, one workaround that you might be already familiar with is just using an overlay that's transparent to move the logo around. But we are open to adding more flexibility there for people that just want to quickly upload a logo without having to make an entire overlay. And appreciate the feedback on multiple cameras. It's certainly possible and something we might add in the future. Stephen has a question. Is it possible to use an external camera via mobile device via an OTG adapter and capture card? Do you want to make an initial attempt at that one, Dan? I'll do. I think I have. I don't know specifically that adapter, but yeah, do you want to cover that one, Dan?
Via mobile device. That's the one part you can use external cameras on your desktop device with capture cards. As far as I know, you cannot do that on a mobile device. I don't know if you have anything you're aware of, Geige, but
I think I misread the question. So if Stephen, if you mean like you're streaming on StreamYard with a mobile device and you're trying to get an external camera to the mobile device, that I am not sure of, and an email to support might be best, and they can work through that with you, because I'm not sure off the top of my head. I originally thought you meant something that was ultimately going onto a computer. And if you're doing something, whether it's a capture card or an adapter, if it's something that you can get onto your computer as a feed, you'll be able to bring that into StreamYard as a virtual camera. All right. Let's see what else we have here. Federal Prison Talk says, it's a cool channel name. When I share videos on a live streamcast via 2 YouTubes and Facebooks, they buffer. Is it because I'm streaming to 2 YouTube channels? Do you have any thoughts on that one, Dan?
Interesting. So no, it shouldn't have any impact. Like you can stream to 2 destinations, 8 destinations. That shouldn't really matter. Might be like Geige said with the last question, might be worth reaching out to contact@streamyard.com and just seeing if they can look into that specific case, because it shouldn't happen.
I'm enjoying some.
Shouldn't be tied to how many destinations you're doing at all. Really,
I'm enjoying some of the karaoke songs. "I Will Survive" is actually probably quite a good one for the bar of being able to actually do the song. That would be a close one for me as well.
I'm sure there's a few songs where you could just kind of yell something as well, where you don't really have to be able to sing at all.
Yeah, there's probably some good ones. Annie says, request allow newly shared second camera to have a different name/title. So the multiple cameras relatively recent. You want to speak to that one then?
Yeah, that's a good one. So that's something we're thinking about adding in general, not just for second cameras, but also for video sharing and some of those other things. And kind of handling with guests as well. If your guest shares a PowerPoint presentation, making sure that's labeled nicely instead of just showing their name. So something we're interested in improving in general. There's only so much space at the bottom for each of those names, so we want to be careful with how we show that information. When it's just your camera, though, that makes sense. And especially, sorry, I'm actually talking about the bottom as well, which is more so like figuring out which one's which. Like if you have 2 cameras and a bunch of guests, knowing which thing is which. If you're talking about the name tag itself, having a custom name there, that's actually another thing we're also interested in adding. Yeah, right now, obviously, we just don't show a name at all. And if it is that one, I would be curious what the use case is. Like, just out of curiosity, what do you want to show there? Is it like you're showing a second angle of yourself? Are you like looking at something maybe you're drawing or working on? Just curious how you want to use that and why you'd want a second name.
Cool. I think I saw a question that leads into one of the topics we had for tonight. So grab that one after. And I'm glad that it's earlier in the UK. That's great. Cool. I think it changes in the UK. I think you've got like a week or something.
It's a week usually, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Mikey says, would it be possible to have a hotkey to switch between the standard solo layout and the cropped solo layout? I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by Dan had an update on some of the new hotkeys coming this week. Do you want to speak to that, Dan?
Cool. So that actually is the main one. So we're adding that hotkey specifically because I know I mentioned it before, but we purposely chose to have that as a setting instead of a separate layout for the solo layout, because it allows you to kind of put a specific guest into that solo layout really easily, and most people don't need to change that midstream. So that's why it's a setting instead of just being a layout. But there's obviously, for you, for example, there are cases where it does make sense where you want to be able to change that setting midstream, and it's a few clicks to be able to do that. So yeah, we are adding a hotkey for that sometime this week. And then also interested in adding hotkeys for some of the other settings. So if for anyone else, there's a setting you'd love to have a hotkey for, and I know some people want it for overlays and things like that, and we're aware of that. But is there any settings you specifically really want a hotkey for? That'd be useful to know.
Cool. And then Mikey had a couple other questions. Would it be possible to sync backgrounds with layouts? Example, when I switch from one shot to a two shot, I'd like the background to switch simultaneously. There's some really useful real estate there. Any thoughts around that one, Dan?
Yeah. So there's a few different ways we're thinking about doing this, but one of them that might just be solved for you is if we do eventually add hotkeys for specific layouts or backgrounds, you could just bind a layout to a specific hotkey and then also bind a background to that same hotkey, so that when you click the hotkey, it changes both. So that could eventually be an option, but we're also exploring some other things that might make it easier. So stay tuned for that. But the very least, hotkeys might do it for you.
Cool. And then Mikey said, I realize with the group layout, there's some complexity as to the number of cameras on screen. That was just additional commentary. But regardless, thanks for all you do. StreamYard is crushing it. Appreciate that, Mikey. And yeah, hopefully you're excited that your first question, we are this week. So stay tuned for that. You'll be able to switch between the two.
Yep.
Shrinking Sharon says, if you're on the go, how do you share your screen in StreamYard on your phone? So currently, Sharon, there isn't actually a way to share the screen on the phone, right, Dan? At least if you're on the go.
That's right, yeah. So say, I assume your use case maybe is like you're on your phone, you want to stream on your phone, and you want to share the screen because you're going through like a mobile website or you want to show off a website or something. If that's the case, you can't do that on the go. If you're not on the go and you just like, you're at your computer and you just want to show something on your mobile device, you can do that. So there are tools, I think like AirPlay lets you do it. I use something called Reflector 3 for it. It's basically just takes your mobile screen, creates a window for it on your computer, and then you can just screen share that. It's pretty simple to do. But if you're talking about on the go, that might not apply. And yeah, right now we don't have screen sharing on mobile devices.
Cool. Nathan says, are you going to make the second camera option accessible to lower price levels? It's something that's been coming up quite a bit, Nathan. We're certainly open to it, so stay tuned.
Yep.
Hannity says, hope all is well. My daughter and I are creating an online course on Kajabi. That's super cool. Congrats. We're also going to be doing a live Q&A too on her paid membership through Kajabi. Am I able to use StreamYard there? That's a good question, Hannity. So I don't think, I'd have to double check. I don't think Kajabi has like an RTMP or streaming feature yet. Maybe they will in the future. I could be wrong about that. I'd have to double check. Either way, one option you could do there is essentially do an unlisted broadcast on YouTube and embed that within your Kajabi course. And that way you'd get the Q&A and stuff like that in Kajabi, which would be pretty cool. But I haven't checked into Kajabi over the last few months. So maybe they have added a live streaming option. You might want to double check. But yeah, that's really cool.
And StreamYard won't, so if you have like a Q&A in Kajabi, StreamYard won't pull in the Q&A stuff, like the questions from there. So you won't be able to show them on screen or anything, just because we don't have an integration with Kajabi. But like Geige said, if Kajabi does have an RTMP URL thing where you can stream to it, you can use a custom RTMP destination on StreamYard and at least stream to it. Otherwise, unlisted YouTube definitely could work. Or you could even just send them. I don't know all the specifics of Kajabi. Maybe you can't just send people to YouTube. Like that kind of defeats the purpose. But that'd be another option. Just send them to YouTube for that stream and then back. But yeah, you would miss out on the features of Kajabi for sure.
Cool. Hardcore Harvey Motorsport says, is it possible to live stream successfully from a remote event, like in my case at the racetrack? Any recommendations to increase opportunity for success? You definitely can do it successfully, Harvey. The biggest factor is going to be how good the cellular internet connection is there. So I would definitely test before doing, if you can, get out there before doing the live broadcast to see how it works. If the service is strong enough and you have a good enough connection, you absolutely can simply just stream it from your device and have an awesome broadcast. If the cell service is not good enough, you can look into things like mobile hotspots and whatnot and test with one of those to see if that improves it enough.
Yep. It's also possible maybe like there's Wi-Fi at this racetrack. I'm not sure. It depends on the racetrack, how big of a racetrack this is.
All right.
Yeah. Internet connection whenever you're kind of on site somewhere.
I see several questions about the the dock, and we haven't mentioned it for a while. So see why you guys have a dock and how did the dock become the mascot? Maybe you guys can help us come up with a cooler backstory for it. The actual story was we really liked companies like DigitalOcean and Hootsuite and companies that had sort of cool, lovable animal logos, and we had come up with the name StreamYard originally with the concept of it sort of being like a place to build your streams, build your live broadcast, kind of like a lumber yard. And we knew we wanted to have like a lovable animal as our logo, and we figured a duck made sense given the name StreamYard, and then we could make something that looked cute and cool there. But not a super exciting story, but it's the truth.
We basically wanted to capture how friendly and approachable our company is with just a simple logo.
Exactly. Alan has a cool question, and there's probably lots of really qualified people in the chat, Alan, that can give you some good advice in terms of want to start my own podcast, need to know what is needed to get started. I want to be able to call and interact for sure. Can you help? So I think I already saw some really cool feedback from Annie and other folks in the chat. But if you're just looking to get started, there's not too much involved. So just with StreamYard, you can simply either do a record only, or if you want to also live stream it, you have both of those options there, and simply bring your guests in, do the stream or the record only broadcast, and you'll have your tracks after the fact that you can use to create your podcasts. If you're going to want to have people calling in that you haven't sort of planned or vetted before the show has actually started, assuming like if you don't actually need them to call in and they can just join the broadcast, you could turn on the guests must authenticate feature to have a little bit more control there, and that will force them to log in with YouTube or Facebook, so you'll have the ability to remove them if they're not acting the way you want them to act in your broadcast. To actually get the ability to call in, the easiest way to do it at this point, in my opinion, would be to use something like a Rodecaster or an audio mixer that actually allows you to connect a cell phone to that device. And then they'll essentially be able to just call that phone, and through the audio mixer, you can feed that into StreamYard itself. If you go to the Help Center, I think there's actually some docs that walk through it, but I also see some awesome suggestions in the chat. Appreciate that for all of you doing those types of broadcasts. Darnell says, I'm on Facebook, StreamYard, but I try to get YouTube at the same time. How do I get them both to go out? So Darnell, you should be able to, like when you go in StreamYard, there's the option to add destinations. So you simply just have to connect Facebook and YouTube as destinations. And when you create a broadcast, you can choose both of them to go live to. The main highlighted video on our YouTube channel walks through it. And if you need extra help, just support streamer.com/contact. There's a live chat that can walk through it with you.
Yep.
All right, what else we have here? I think there's a couple other things we wanted to get to, and then we'll get back to the questions. One was we have the education industry showcase happening at the end of this month. I know lots of you are in this space, so it could be a cool one to attend. We have some great speakers. You can see the details at streamyard.com/SY showcase. So yeah, register for that. I think we have some speakers from Google and some other exciting places, giving some cool examples of how to use StreamYard for that industry. We mentioned the new hotkeys coming this week, so stay tuned for that. And then one other thing we wanted to ask you guys this week was, we're curious, as we add more functionality around recording, how you're using them after the broadcast is over. Like, is it the type of thing that you're taking clips and mixing them together to make something that you're posting to YouTube? Are you just using it for storage? Just curious in what ways you're using the recording functionality of StreamYard.
Yep.
All right, what else do we have here? John says, has the ability to upload .mov files to videos been considered at all? It has absolutely been considered, John. Only reason we don't add it is for your guests, actually. So certain devices that guests might join don't actually support MOV files, so they would be trying to play it back and wouldn't be able to see it. But file support is always improving. So at some point, maybe we can add that functionality. We'd certainly love to add it.
Yeah, we've also played around with if there's ways we can get it to work, even just like in different ways on different browsers. So stay tuned. It may come out at some point. Something we're kind of always actively exploring. We're definitely aware of the need, though.
Yes. LS Online Success says, how long of a video can I replay on StreamYard? The max, please, 1 hour or less. So if you mean during an actual StreamYard, like not a pre-recorded stream, but something you're doing live, if you use the share functionality and you're sharing it from the computer itself, there is no limit, right, Dan? Like if you're using a local, if you're sharing a local video, it can be as long as you want. In terms of video overlays, I don't actually remember the limit anymore, Dan. Cool. We upped it recently, right?
Yeah, and I can explain it as well. So yeah, there's a few different options. So the share that Geige is talking about is when at the bottom of the studio, there's the share button. You can share a video that's any length, and it'll basically just stream it from your computer. You can kind of scrub around throughout the video, pause and play. Really good if you just want to share a super long video. And then we have video clips, which is in the brand tab. And those can be up to 10 minutes long, and I think it's 250 megabytes. And that's really good if you just have an intro video or an outro or something you want to play kind of every stream that you want to be saved to your account. You can use that and just play it in each of your streams. But that one does have a limit. The one at the bottom does not, and is good for long videos.
Cool. Let's see here. See a couple questions about background music. Ben's asking why we can't upload our own songs. And then I saw another one here asking if the lack of it is due to server storage, copyright restrictions, or both. If it's copyright, are you liable there, or the platform you are streaming to? So we are going to add the ability to upload your own tracks. In terms of why we didn't initially launch it, it was primarily because of the copyright stuff, John. So the tracks we initially launched with, we actually had created to make sure we had full copyright and we weren't putting you guys at risk in terms of like what you were sharing during your shows. So we want to make sure that once we add the ability to upload your own tracks, that we make sure that there's lots of caution in place and we walk people through the understanding of like, hey, if you don't have the copyright to this song, you might have your streams taken down. But it is clearly a highly in-demand feature, so we are definitely going to add it. We're just trying to make sure we put as many guardrails in place to make sure that people don't get their streams taken down, essentially. Yep. Any other thoughts on that one, Dan?
No, I think you nailed it.
Cool. Annie says, question, can we have an integration to stream directly to Getter and Rumble other than RTM? I think that was RTMP setup. Thanks for the question, Annie. I need to check out, I'm not actually familiar with Getter. Rumble has come up a few times. Now, we're definitely open to adding more integrations. I don't know what APIs Getter and Rumble offer, but it's definitely something we're open to. If there's other integrations people would like, definitely let us know. Email is actually a good way too, because we do regularly check each week. We check like the types of requests coming in over email. So if we see something like a particular platform coming up all the time, that definitely helps prioritize it. So either here or shooting us an email is both helpful for the types of integrations you'd like to see, but we're definitely open to adding more. What else do we have? Sounds like Chris is a fan of the new music feature. Happy to hear that, Chris. Glad you're a fan.
Cool.
Good night to you, Brandon. Nice to have you stopping by. Brian says Gaige's first pet was a mallard duck named Puddles. I did actually have a pet. It wasn't named Puddles, but I did.
Was it mallard?
It was a mallard duck.
Oh, that's perfect.
At some point, maybe I'll share. I've got a funny picture that maybe I could share at some point. But I did have a. Maybe it affected the name somewhat. I don't think it directly did. But
that's cool.
All right. Should we go ahead as we answer a couple more questions here and get the giveaway set up for tonight?
We should.
It's a good suggestion, Jim. Appreciate you sharing that. For Harvey's earlier question, Jim's done multiple live cycling events. I think I've actually watched at least one of them. Jim was pretty cool. And have the best of luck when the venue has Wi-Fi access, but have been able to use multiple cell phones and hotspots to do them also. Very cool.
Cool.
All right. For anyone that hasn't been to one of these before, we do giveaways during the end of each of these town halls. So if you just type in #TheYard, you'll be eligible to win. Just whatever platform you're watching from, you can just type that in. And tonight we'll be giving away that pillow Dan has in the background there. And we'll also give away, we haven't given away one in a while. So why don't we give away the StreamYard duck? I think I've got a picture of it here somewhere. We'll give away, there it is, the plush duck. It's pretty cool. We'll give you a little bit of time here to get them in. And then as a side note, if you ever want to do your own giveaways, we actually made this tool available. So you can access it at StreamYard.com/giveaway. There's a little tutorial there that walks through how you can use it, but you can essentially screen share it like how we're doing now to do your own giveaways. At some point we might integrate it a bit more deeply, but it is a good way to do them now.
Cool.
Let's see what else we have. Agent Bay says, do you have any use cases where viewers appear as an audience within StreamYard trying to move a client over from Zoom? Thanks for the question, Agent Bay. So it sounds like you mean like watching the broadcast on StreamYard itself. So right now, from the viewership perspective, everything happens on the destination. So it would be something like streaming to an unlisted YouTube or your own RTMP server. At some point, that might change. Maybe we will make it where viewers, or if you want to do like sort of a private live stream or that Kajabi question, making that a bit easier, allowing that type of functionality, it's something we're open to. But right now, unless it's like a super small audience where you're just getting everyone into the studio, your best bet is to stream out to something like YouTube.
Yep.
The I Believe podcast says, any way to focus webcams in StreamYard?
Interesting.
So
Not really.
Yeah. Yeah. Your best bet is using the software that came with your webcam, or certain web cameras will have settings, like hardware settings on the camera itself.
Yeah.
I think we're somewhat limited in terms of what we can access there in the.
Yeah, we can't really edit camera settings from within the browser, unfortunately. But like
But
Geige said, there often is, like if you're say you have a Logitech camera, there's often like Logitech. There's lots of Logitech programs you can use that you can edit those things, and they just kind of run in the background. So it usually works.
Cool, but who knows if there's ever a desktop version of StreamYard? Maybe we can add that. Running Water says, is there any plans for multiple / simultaneous mics within the app? Currently using a mixer in studio, but isn't convenient when remote / mobile. So I think I might be. Do you understand the question, Dan?
So yeah, multiple mics. I assume like you have StreamYard open and you need to have two mics. Like you're doing an interview with two people.
Oh, I see.
Mics
Yeah.
without a mixer. So no plans right now. It's always interesting though. That's why we do these, is to get feedback. So definitely interesting. And thank you for kind of providing, at least to some extent, the use case. I guess I would be curious to learn more. Like, is what I just said kind of what you're hoping to do? Is you have a mobile device, and then you may be doing an interview in person where you have two separate mics, and you want to like somehow plug both of those into the phone? If you can just let us know a bit more, that could be useful. But no plans right now.
All right, should we go ahead and run the giveaway, Dan?
Yes, we should. Good luck, everyone.
Rue Revel, congrats. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. If you email contact@streamyard.com, Dana can work with you to get your info and get your StreamYard duck and the pillow shipped over to wherever you're tuning in from.
Very cool. Congrats.
All right, let's see here. I think we have time for a couple more questions. Hey, Bill, nice to see you here. Carlos says, is it true that I can go live on YouTube without having 1,000 subscribers? So it was a while ago that I remember that coming up, Carlos. So it used to be only a limit within the YouTube studio. So unless something has changed there, I believe you can go live on YouTube without having 1,000 subs.
Yeah, as far as I know, all you really need is to have a mobile device connected to your account in order to enable live streaming, and then you should be good to go. Like a mobile device is in a phone number.
I like this question. How rough was your guys' first live? You can actually see it for yourself. It's actually, if you go on the oldest video, I think the very first video on our YouTube channel was our actual first. I mean, we'd done lots of live streams, but they were like just for testing, so they weren't public, right? But that was our first like public one. So you can see how it went. I was on like crappy internet, so I think I was a little bit blurry, but it went okay, I think.
I thought it went good. Yeah. For us, it's all about the engagement and just chatting with users, getting a sense of what features you need, what you want to see changed. And first one, I'm sure we probably looked a little more nervous. We probably had some issues and whatnot, but it was a useful live stream.
Yeah, we haven't stopped doing them since then. It was definitely cool to. I think we probably only had like 5 or 6 people watching, but it was really cool to just talk with them directly and do the stream. So yeah, we had a lot of fun and have done it since. All right, I see quite a few more questions here. Hopefully we can get to them next time. But thank you all for tuning in tonight. This was episode 166 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. Again, if you're in San Diego, if you're at Social Media Marketing World, come stop by our booth. Team would love to chat with you. And yeah, thanks again for tuning in tonight. It's always fun hanging out with you all.
Awesome. See you next week, everyone.